This dialogue is targeted at setting in motion a process that will culminate in Nigerians first and foremost being enlightened about the issue of gas flaring and its negative consequences both on the health, the economy, and the environment of the Nigerian people, as has always been, and of course added to the issue of the gas flare penalties that the laws of Nigeria has set out, that there will be penalties for flaring gas. And these penalties that have been set down by the law is not being adequately and correctly, transparently calculated and paid because of some discrepancies in the calculation paradigm. Now, for us, this is political dialogue. In a couple of days, weeks, months now, there will be a general election where we will elect those that will represent us at the various levels, from presidency to governor to senate to House of Reps to House of Assembly and the rest of them. And this set of people will be responsible for handling the affairs of this country for the next 4 years. So what do we set for them as oil-producing communities, as oil-producing states, as oil-producing region, and as oil-producing nation? This is where this dialogue is coming, because while Nigeria is borrowing a lot of money and is being indebted to various countries and various institutions, whereas we have resources within us that, if properly tapped, if properly harnessed, if properly utilized, Nigeria should be loaning money to other countries of the world. So what is wrong with us? Let us interrogate this, and this is the essence of this dialogue. Can we interrogate these issues and see what are the potentialities that are embedded in a transparent harnessing and management of our resources? And then what are the negative consequences of unsustainable tapping and utilization of these resources to the disadvantage of Nigerian people? Do we have to continue with the resource cost syndrome? It is high time a people should rewrite their own history and rewrite their own story and be in charge of their own destinies. No multinational, no external country should continue to dehumanize Nigerians and make Nigerians look like less citizens of the world. We are equal citizens of the world. Nobody is greater than the other in the scheme of things in the world paradigm. You only say who you are and what you are, and people will respect you for that. It is what you make yourself that people regard you as. Nigerians have to lead Africa as the biggest and largest everything in Africa. Economy, population, intelligence, everything. Nigeria is on the lead on the African continent. So we must show that leadership, and we are moving towards COP27 that is coming up on African soil in Egypt, in the next month. So what are we taking? Africa is being balkanized once again because Europe and America thinks that because of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, they need African oil and gas to sustain their energy needs. And because they need it, our oil and gas has become clean. We must stand and take due advantage of this position. They cannot continue to exploit us. It is high time that we tap from what God has given to us to the advantage of the Nigerian people, and this is the essence of this dialogue, so that we can all speak with one voice.
We talked about the negative impact of gas flaring on those communities, and this particular gathering is actually expounding, it's increasing the voice of the communities. It's making the voice of the communities louder. The community people have been crying before now, crying to government, crying to corners, crying to people, but the people have not been hearing our voices. So this is kind of expounding the voice of the communities. So the communities have a lot to benefit. For example, when I made a recommendation that the Niger Delta environment there should be an audit of the Niger Delta environment, social audit and economic audit to ascertain the impact, the actual impact of oil and gas flaring in the Niger Delta. That is the only way the actual fees can be paid. And so through this particular gathering, our voice has been amplified. The world will hear us. We have a lot to gain. And just like you press guys, you are going to go and tell the whole world that the host community people want the Niger Delta environment to be audited, cumulative audit be done, social audit be done, environmental audit and economic audit, and after the audit, the costing be made and the actual cost be paid to the people for the number of years that oil extraction activities have been going on in the Niger Delta. And when this evaluation is done, when this audit is done, it will run into trillions of dollars. And that is what we are advocating for. That's what we are shouting for. That's what we are crying for. We people of the host community, come and pay us. If they don't pay us, we are afraid oil theft. We are not the ones in charge, but oil theft will continue. Because they are stealing our. But the federal government is stealing from us. Now I'm stealing from federal government.
Head or from every other person, I think basically our role as civil society, those of us particularly from the left wing civil society, is to take this whole campaign to the grassroots, mobilize people at that level, cause them to be aware, because first people must be aware before they are able to act. A lot of people are not able to act because they are not aware. Once you reach them and cause them to be aware, then at that point we begin to mobilize them. The campaign is very simple. It's either they give us clean energy or they leave the oil in the soil. We cannot continue to remain in a society where we have so much and we live with very little. The people that owns the oil and the gas are still in serious abject poverty. Why those that don't even know anything about where the gas come from are living in huge influence, and they drive in the biggest of cars and fly in the most expensive planes. Whereas the rest of us that are here, who live, like you heard one of our commentators speaking, he lives just a few meters from a flaring site, and yet he doesn't enjoy anything from it. Rather, he's suffering because his eyes are getting weak and his health is deteriorating by the day. So we think all of that narrative must begin to change. This is the purpose of this meeting, and we are very glad being part of it. And we are appealing to the press, to become more concerned and write more on this issue, because here we talk about not very poor reportage and not sufficient information out there. I think that is the role of the media, and I think the media has not done well. We want the media to be more involved in churning out informations on oil and the gas sector, so that people will know what is actually happening. We know that those in the aim of leadership don't want people to be aware, but the media must amplify these informations, and we think it will be win-win for all of us as the ordinary people in the society.
Nigeria is capable of almost anything if only we are prepared. What we need is patriotism, empathy, humaneness, and discipline. Those are the things we need. From my experience, I know that, and of course it is of common knowledge, that oil is the mainstay of the nation's economy. But we cannot put our people's life on the line only because we want to make money. So that is why the will to do the right thing becomes very imperative. We must have the will to do the right thing. We must know that, like I earlier mentioned during the discussion, that this country can live without oil. So the earlier we put that demand on the oil corporation, that it is either you do oil without gas flaring or you leave oil in the ground. We have once lived as an agrarian economy. We never depended on oil to build the OAU. We never depended on oil to build all those gigantic infrastructure. And Nigeria was a sinner climb, you know, when you want to talk about environmental friendliness, because all of this border on the impact, this flaring, the danger, the negative impact it has on the environment. Environment is everything. Environment is life. So the moment that environment is threatened by one economic activity or the other, then it is no longer what they want. So that is why I believe that if we put in the right policy and we have the right kind of discipline, we'll be able to bring our force to bear on this matter of gas flaring.
Achieve is a kind of a chain reaction of advocacy on issues concerning the oil and the gas industry. Gas is a transition energy for Nigeria right now, and we must do our best to not only know what we are producing, we must also be able to account for it in terms of revenue, and so that we can also be able to transmit the effect and the impact of that revenue to the communities that have been part of this journey for the last 50 or so years. Is that okay? And we call on the general public to join us on this stream to create this awareness and also mount the pressure, create the pressure that is needed to cause this change to happen. And thank you very much for coming.